Hello, my name's Ashley. I'm one of the founders of Skira, and I'm here to show you everything that's new in Construct 3 release 148. Let's get started. We have a huge update for you today. There's tons of new stuff in this release. First of all, we have a major new feature called the timeline feature. This is a full animation timeline feature available in Construct now. It's been a popular request for a long time. So this is a sort of path-based animation system, and you can see you can sort of create paths in the layout view and animate objects to follow along them along the timeline bar here, and you can even edit them in the layout, so you can move the paths around and visually see it follow along. Tons of options for how it animates, easing and so on. There's also lots of properties you can animate other than just the position, as I was showing you there. So if there are instance variables, behaviors, effects and so on, those can all be animated as well. This is a big new update. This deserves its own video, so I'm going to move on now, but stay tuned for more blog posts and videos covering that feature. Moving on, the next big feature we've added is the new Builtin Functions feature. This is a replacement for the old function plugin. We've already done a couple of blog posts about it and another video, which I'll link to in the description to this video, so I won't cover it in too much detail now, but just a very quick summary of how it works. You now use add function in the event sheet, and you can create a function which appears as its own block in the event system here. You can add parameters, give them names, and then when you want to call a function, when you add an action, there's now a new Builtin Functions icon which appears here, and this will list all the functions in your project as well as some other utilities here. And you can see you can choose the parameters, and it uses the name of the parameter which you gave it earlier. You could fill in your own description as well, and so on and so forth. Check out the other video for more information on that. The functions plugin, which was the old way of doing functions, is now deprecated, which means it won't appear when you create a new object, but existing projects can continue using it. We think this new functions feature is much better designed, so we'd encourage you to move over if you can. Existing projects can right click on the old on function event and select replace with built-in function, so you can move over automatically. And we've also updated all the example projects such as Kiwi Story and Demon War to use the new built-in functions instead of the old functions plugin which they were using before. So go and have a look at those if you want to see more examples of how they are used. Whilst we're looking at examples, there's also a new Bluetooth plugin available in this release. This allows you to connect to nearby Bluetooth devices using the Web Bluetooth API. And this demo here, which is built in, just allows you to connect to a nearby device and read its device name. So it's just a very simple way. It's not device specific. It should work with pretty much anything you've got to hand. You'll need to know a little bit about how Bluetooth works to take advantage of this. It depends on things like services, characteristics, and reading and writing small amounts of binary data sometimes. Fortunately, we now have a binary data plugin to cover that. So this should be of interest to hobbyists or tinkerers, or maybe in education if you have robots or devices you want to be able to control. So have a look at that. We've also updated some existing examples to take advantage of new features. The camera input example now supports using the game recorder object to record a video from your camera and microphone. So that's a nice new feature to play with. And also the taking screenshots example has been updated to include sharing the screenshot image with the new share plugin, which is another new feature. So now you can share files with the share plugin, which also includes videos, so you could also share a recording that you took from the user media object, or a game canvas recording, or a screen recording even. So you can share videos and images and any other kinds of files. the process for sharing files is you share files from binary data. So typically you would use the Ajax plugin to load the URL for a image or recording, which Construct has provided, into a binary data object, and then you can share the binary data object. Have a look at that example. It shows you how to do it. It's quite straightforward once you get it working. Another new example to check out, the line of sight behavior now supports raycasting. Raycasting is essentially a way of saying, if I draw a line from A to B, does it collide with something? And if it does, where does it hit it? It's a bit like saying line of sight. If you don't have line of sight, what is it that's blocking it? And it can give you the position and, interestingly, the angle of reflection from the line that you are casting. This is really useful tool to have in lots of kinds of games, and this raycasting reflections example just demonstrates how it works. So if you hold down the mouse or touch, you can see it's casting. It repeatedly casts until the ray leaves the layout, so you can see how it moves along and reflects, and you can get some really crazy reflections if it gets lots of bounces in. So you can see it just keeps going until the ray leaves, and that's all processed instantly, and it's super fast, so it's a fun thing to play with. Check that out. Finally, last but not least, we have a new feature to allow multiple local previews. So this is probably more useful if you're developing a multiplayer game or something involving networking. If you just hold down Alt whilst clicking preview, so that's my normal preview there. If you want to get more preview windows open, you can hold down Alt and another preview window will appear, and you can keep going until you've got lots of preview windows and they all work independently. If you change something about the game, all of your existing windows will update, and there's also keyboard shortcuts Alt and 4 and Alt and 5 to start a new preview of the project and the layout respectively. Note that's not Alt and F4 because on Windows that's the window shortcut to close the app, so we can't use that one. Alright, that's everything I'm going to cover in this video. There's tons more. If you go and check the release notes, you'll see everything that's new, loads of bug fixes, changes, other smaller additions. There will be more to come to cover the new timeline feature. There's more to come about new features coming in future as well. We're working super hard. We've got lots of exciting stuff on the way, and we can't wait to share it with you. So stay tuned and we'll have more updates for you soon.